He's icy, he's chilly, he's a criminology expert studying that at Washington State. I mean, they found his car going back and forth a few times in front of the house. I think we got to get back to one thing, Kato, and it's the night of the murders, right? If we kind of go through a little bit of timeline here, and I don't know about you, but for me, how is it possible, Howard, that roommates in the house heard noises, they saw somebody, they could identify what he looks like, he said something to them, and then nobody did anything? Do you have any theory about why 911 wasn't called for 6 to 8 hours? How is this even possible?
It's 4 o'clock in the morning. We're on King Road in Moscow, and it's totally quiet. A single voice, would echo like a gunshot, and a white Hyundai Elantra goes by the house, not once, drives by, not twice, but 3 times. And each time it drives by the house, it almost comes to a stop and then it drives off. And at this point, I don't believe the suspect is stalking the house. He's trying to look to see if there's anyone around. What he's doing, I believe, is trying to find the will. He's trying to find the courage, the imagination to become the monster he wants to be. And each time he's trying to fight with himself, he's having this large internal battle to prevent himself from being this killer. And he drives off only to be pulled back by a magnet. And when he finally comes back at about 4 a.m., parks on this bluff above the house and turns off the ignition key of his car, I think it requires the strength of a Hercules to turn off the ignition key. And he turns it off, then he opens the car door, walks down this icy slope. He has a knife in his hand and a knife sheath. And at this point, he's determined. This is a killer's journey. And what happens next, I feel, helps us to understand why these killings occurred. First, I think one has to realize that there's no rational reason why 4 young people can be killed. If you're looking for a reason that makes sense to any rational, normal person, you're not going to find it. But let's try to see if we can figure out what went on in this killer's mind. Here's what happened, I think. He goes into the side of the house. The kitchen slider door is never locked. He walks in. This is on the 2nd floor of the house. He enters through the back porch. On the 2nd floor, there are 2 bedrooms. Each are filled with 2 young women. He avoids those and instead heads as if on a beeline up a narrow flight of stairs to a 3rd floor bedroom. And on the 3rd floor, there were also 2 bedrooms. He turns immediately to the right, and this is his destination all along. This is the bedroom of Maddie Mogen. This is the woman he has come to kill. He has decided in his mind that for some reason, her exuberance, her beauty, her vivaciousness, they are a rebuke to everything that is happening in his life, to his outsider's mentality. How does he know Maddie? How did he become fixated on her? There is no record, either on social media or anywhere, of him having interacted with her. There's no record of any conversation he might have had with her. But it is a fact that she worked at a restaurant, the Mad Greek in downtown Moscow, that he would frequent for his vegetarian sort of dishes. He might have seen her. He might have had a conversation with her. He might not have had to say anything to her. He is a man who obsessions come easily to him. He had been a heroin addict. His whole life was measured out in various obsessions. He goes into the bedroom hoping to see Maddie, and he finds not just her, but there's another girl sleeping there. Kaylee has come down from Coeur d'Alene for the weekend to visit her friend, to stay there, and all his plans are suddenly thrown out the window. He kills one girl, Maddie first, then Kaylee. It's a vicious killing. Kaylee is fighting back. She's pushed towards a small room, but she's pushed almost off the bed towards the wall in the back rear of the room. But he leaves there and walks down the narrow staircase. At this point, from the 2nd floor bedroom, Ethan has been staying with his girlfriend, Zenner, and Ethan comes out to confront him. Ethan is 6'4", a charming, genial young man, but the killer, just in one swipe of his knife, crosses his neck, cuts the jugular, and Ethan collapses on the floor. Meanwhile, the dog is barking frantically upstairs, is locked in one bedroom, and Zenner comes out, and he looks at her, and he can see her fear. Maybe she says something, but he says it's overheard. "Don't worry, I won't hurt you." And of course, he does hurt her. He kills her. She fights back. There are defensive wounds on the palm of her hands. And after he kills her, he walks over her and Ethan, and he's about to leave the house. At this moment, from the other 2nd floor bedroom, Dylan has emerged, and she sees him. She sees this man dressed in black, a black mask, a knife in his hand at this point, and she's locked, I believe, why she can't speak, in a state, as she describes it, a frozen state of shock. At the same time, the killer is locked in his own armory of hate. He's wrapped up in his own mania. If she had said one word, if she had screamed out, if she had said, "Who is this?" And she just screamed in terror. I believe she would have become another victim. But because she's silent, she saves her life, and he doesn't even notice her. I believe he has no knowledge that she was even there, and he walks out. And it's her silence that saves her. Maddie was the target, and the other 3 victims were really just collateral damage. That's what I believe happened on the night.